wonderful time on the red carpet. Hopefully you guys got to see us on the red carpet at the Oscars. Did you enjoy that? Mm-hmm. Girl, you don't even sound believable. Damn! But anyway, we are so glad to be back here on the Dish. Now, as you can see, we have been listening to our First Lady, Michelle Obama. We don't have fried chicken today. We are eating healthy. We are eating salads. Yes, we are. I know. In the gay community, this can be a joke, eating salad. But anyway, we'll talk about that later on.
And as our menu is on a diet, so is the cast today. The cast is a little bit, weighs a little less today.
Yes, and the reason you don't see certain cast members is because we have gotten so fat, we don't have room to put everybody in the shot. So you will be seeing 3 of us every week. No, I'm just kidding. Naisha and Mario, they had some emergencies that they had to take care of, but we wish them well, and we'll see them back on the next episode of The Dish. But anyway, we are going to talk about love. Do you fall in love or do you create love? I don't know about these other 2 on the panel, but I'm in love right now with this salad. So I want you all to talk about love. Do you fall in love or do you create love? What do you think? What do y'all?
Well, this was a really interesting thing that I saw on someone's Facebook page, and it got me to thinking about it as to whether or not you create love or you fall into love. And one of the comments that was on his Facebook page is, he made reference to the things that you do with a person that forces you to, after, you spend time with the person in regards to going to the movies, spending quality time together at home, going out to dinner. That's how love is created rather than falling into love. And as I read that, I kind of thought, there's some legitimacy to that, and I can see where someone would say that, but I think that you do still fall into love, because even you could do that kind of stuff with your friend. You can go to the movies, go to dinner with your friends, but the type of love that you fall into with someone that is more of a romantic connection, to me, is a little bit different. And I know for myself personally, I have started to date people and found myself in love with them more so than I thought from the initial meeting with them. So I think you do kind of fall into love.
To me, they're like almost hand in hand. Because, if you fall in love, it's something that's created. You know what I'm saying? By, I guess you could say it's just divine intervention, I guess you could say. It's just fate of how things happen. But I think it depends on the intention of the people involved, because some people, like I stated on some episodes before, some people can seek you out and they are trying to create something with you, and if they already have that notion in the back of their head, this is something that I want to do with this person, I've been watching them, then they're trying to create something and make it come out of it. Whereas somebody, if you don't know somebody and it's just just up out of the blue, and you start to get to know them and for who they are, what they stand for, the character as a person, then on that side, you end up saying, oh my gosh, I'm falling in love for this person, for the attributes or the characteristics that they have as a person.
Right. Now, if someone seeks you out, though, and you don't have that connection, can you then create love?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. To me, that's creating. That side is creating.
And again, I'll speak from my personal experience. I met someone several years ago that, I guess in a sense, you could say possibly sought me out.
What's their name?
I can't remember.
That's why y'all not together. You don't remember his name.
I can't remember. Well, during that process, we, for me, there was never a real connection for me, and I didn't feel a real connection. There was nothing wrong with him. He's a really nice guy, but I didn't feel a connection, and to me that's very important. So in that, it didn't matter if we went to, and we did go to the movies, we did spend time together, we did go out to eat, but I wasn't in love with him. So again, to me, that brings me back to my point that I don't think that it is something that you can create, because if that were the case, then we would have created love, because he, to this day, still confesses that he is in love with me and loves me, but I don't feel the same way, not to that degree, about him. And like I said, we did do things that people who are in love would do.
Like what?
With the exception of sex. We were never even intimate, but as far as going to the movies...
Did y'all make love? Since you didn't have sex, did you make love?
No, because it was not created. We did not fall into it, so...
Well, I'm back with...
Did you jump into it? Did you just jump into it?
No, we did not.
Well, I'm kind of like Raquel. I think you they go hand in hand. I think you fall in love and you create love. Now, from my experience, I found out that one thing that I was guilty of is I was in love with people. I was in love with someone, but then I tried to create another love that I saw. You know how you see people and you see them do certain things and blah 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 blah, and you try to mimic that. That's not creating love. That is trying to recycle someone else's love. So I think when you create love, it's the two individuals. You have to take this person and they have to look at you, and you guys come together and you all do what you all want to do, because that's what make you guys relationship unique, is you guys working together and doing stuff together that both of you all like, as opposed to doing what you see somebody else do. So you're not creating love when you're supposed to be in love with somebody, and then you're just mimicking what you saw. No, if you're creating, this is something that if we don't want to go to the movies, but if I saw somebody else in a relationship, oh, every Tuesday they go to the movies, oh, every Wednesday they go out to eat, or oh, every Thursday they go out of town, they go walking in the park and all that, then that's not us creating love. That's something that I saw. But if this person and I are together and we're going to create this love, because first of all, if you see somebody, you attract somebody, and then you fall in love. So you have to fall in love with them before you try to create love. But I think a lot of us, we make the mistake of we fall in love, but we don't create our own love. So the love that we create is not original, and that's why I feel that you say that you can't create love with somebody that you don't love, because
it's different for each person or
right.
Each situation. And yeah, I guess that makes sense. And I guess going back to what both of you said, and now that I'm even thinking about it more, which is one of the things that this show does, it's wonderful. It prompts you to think. Mm-hmm. Once you fall in love with someone, it is an obligation almost, if you want the love to continue, to do things to keep that love going. So in that sense, I guess you do create the sparks and the connection and the butterflies. Because I remember the first time, my very first boyfriend, and falling in love with him, it was very, very exciting. And, for both of us, neither one of us could wait to see each other again. When the day was over, we couldn't wait to speak to each other, et cetera, et cetera. And then I think the older that you get and the more experiences that you have, the feeling is a little bit different. Like when I meet someone today, I don't really have that same butterflies in my stomach and that giddy feeling, and I long for that. Mm-hmm. And I often wonder, if I'll ever have that again. And even now as I'm saying this, because I want it so much, I would think that I could create it, but I really can't. That just has to be natural.
But see, I think because you have had that experience, and you want every experience when it comes to love, you want to have that feeling.
Be like that.
But it's just like, that was the feeling that you got from that person. It's kind of like when I tell you, I say, when I learned that we have to learn how to accept people's love in different forms, because, just like I might say, I love you with a gift, but somebody else may show me that they love me with a poem. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, although this person didn't give me a gift, they gave me a poem, but I'm so used to getting gifts, I'm so used to giving gifts as a way of showing love, and in return, I was expecting to receive a gift, something from the store. But it's just like, I had to open myself up to, there are different ways of loving you, and there are different ways for people to show you that they love you, but because we're so programmed to our way of thinking of, this is the only way that, this person can show me love, and if this person don't show me love the way I'm showing them love, then they don't love me, and I'm ready to go. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But that's because they don't do it the way we do it, doesn't mean it's not love.
And you always got to be open to something different too.
Right.
Even if it makes you feel uncomfortable.
Right. But see, and I guess,
if it's out of your normalcy,
comfort zone, right? Exactly.
Even to receive it,
right.
You have to still be open to it,
right?
Because that's where I think you can miss out on like your blessing, or to be exposed to something new and say, oh my goodness, this took me off guard. But after I thought about it, they really put a lot of thought and process of this, that, and other, and this is just how they do things.
Right. But and that's a good point. I think that, and I know, again, for me, I can only speak for me and my experiences. I'm feelings and emotions are very powerful to me, and it's almost an innate thing, and my intuition is very strong. So regardless if it's a poem or a physical gift or whatever it is, the intention behind whatever is done or whatever is shown to me, I'm very in tune with. And for me, those are the things that I fall in love with. It doesn't matter to me whether it's a poem or a physical gift or if it's a phone call or if it's, you know, a picture that you drew, you know, a heart, whatever it is. It's the intention behind it that really will kind of suck me in the sense. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in love with you because, you know, the genuineness behind it is what really does it for me.
That's kind of ironic you said it because for me, I'm more or less in tune with the action of the person to see if the consistency stays there.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, that's what's going to make the relationship relevant and it's going to keep it strong and keep it revived. I don't know if have you ever heard like when your parents say, well, you know, I remember when I first met your dad and this, that, and other, but I still have that same feeling for your dad when I first met him and this, that, and other because they keep continually, the consistency was there and there was no dry moment, you know. And then I've never heard my parents say that they had to keep recreating and keep doing things. No, they just kept doing the same thing that they saw at the very beginning, which kept it long lasting.
I don't think, you know, you said they keep doing the same thing, but I think that's what they're different. I think they're not doing the same thing, but they're still doing stuff. You know, like, you know, he was doing stuff. He's probably not doing the same thing that he was doing when they first met, but he is still doing stuff for her. You know, the same thing that he did to get her is the same thing that he's doing to keep her, just vice versa. And then it's just like, I was wondering when you were talking, it was just like you were saying, like, you know, it's the intent behind the whole purpose and stuff. And then you say, you know, that, you know, you was talking to somebody and y'all didn't work out and blah, 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 blah. Do you think that ever plays a part anywhere where people, when you're in a relationship with somebody or you're getting to know somebody and because you're so strong with the intent of why they did certain things or how they did it or with all of that, that you expect that from that person? Do you do that?
I don't understand the question.
It's just like what you're asking for. Do you do that? It's just like
do you give back what is given
genuineness.
to you?
Yeah, and I do, but I think that goes back to what you said at the beginning, though, when you said that that people don't necessarily show love in the same physical way, but I think the intention behind what you're doing, because you know if someone loves you. You know what I mean? Like, I know that you love me. I know that my mother loves me. I know that my father loves me. I know, you know how people genuinely feel about you. And
you can say Raquel.
And Raquel, right. And it has nothing to do with, right. Because I was moving on to my next point, but that was my acknowledgement of it. And it has very little to do with what you all physically do for me. I know by our conversations. I know by our interactions with each other. I even know in the teasing that you all do of me so frequently. You know, even that is a form of love, and I know where that comes from. So that's what I mean as far as when I say the intent behind it and the genuineness that is behind what a person does. You understand what I'm saying?
Because you put all of that, when you do something for somebody that you care about like that, you put all of that into that.
Oh, right? Yeah, if I love someone.
And so you expect all of that from that person in return. That's what I'm saying. I'm asking.
Expect it. I mean, if you want to say expect, I would say yes, but I don't think it's even a thing of an expectation because to me, that is the kind of thing that you do. Or those are the kinds of things that you do when you genuinely love someone. Like, if you genuinely love someone unconditionally, your thought process and pattern for that person is to do things that make them happy or to make them feel good. So in getting to know them and knowing them, things that you do are things that you think and feel and know will please that person.
Yeah. Love. Love.
Such a small word.
What's the song, girl?
It's so big.
Ordinary.
Love.
Wow.
That's how we know it's
This has turned into a musical.
But anyway, love. I really enjoyed this.
This was
I
good.
want to talk about it some more.
You do?
I do.
Okay, well, let's take a break and come back. All right.
Yeah. We're going to take a break. We're going to be right back talking about love because, you know, that's what Christ talks about, love. You know, all these churches you go to and they're talking about what Jesus like. Jesus is all about love. Be back on the dish.